my newborn book, Bird. As Jan said, it's the family history of a child given up for adoption. The birth parents of the child, Addie Lockwood and Roland Rhodes, grow up together in the small town of Carswell, North Carolina, which is a fictional town not far from here. Addie is bookish and intellectual. Roland is not. Roland is a blues guitar player. But they form an unlikely friendship in high school. They become very close. They leave Carswell after high school. Addie actually moves to Greensboro to go to college and stays in Greensboro to work in a bookstore. Roland goes on the road with his band. They reconnect in their 30s, a time of disillusionment for both of them. Addie is sort of stuck in her job. Roland has landed in Los Angeles and is struggling in the music business. They have a reunion, and then it's over New Year's 1989. And then later, in February 1989, Addie returns to California to visit Roland a second time. In the few weeks that the book has been out, I've been doing readings, and I've mostly been reading from Addie's chapters because the story is largely her story. To shake it up today, I'm going to read you a Roland chapter. The book is told from different points of view. This chapter is, we're with Addie and Roland during Addie's return visit to California. This is the second California chapter. It's called Up on the Roof. Roland is making a picnic. He has never made a picnic for anyone. It's not even a word he uses, picnic. On his counter, blueberry smoothies and crinkle-cut fries from his favorite stand on the beach, plus everything from his kitchen. A can of peaches, half a bottle of white Zinfandel, and 2 hard-boiled eggs, which he peels and mashes into a bowl with salt and pepper. Then there's the barbecue Addie brought with her from North Carolina. Hickory smoked shoulder meat sliced thin, packed on dry ice in her little travel cooler. Slaw, too, and sauce, the thin red tomato-y kind they grew up on. You can't get sauce like this in California. So much food. A feast. A corny fucking copia. That's how Addie makes him feel. Rich, generous, overflowing. Like that Bible story where all of a sudden there's plenty of fish and bread to go around. One day he's racking his brain over how to scrape up rent, even thinking he should move Elle back in. The next, he's making a picnic. Loaves and fishes, baby. It's a warm, gusty February afternoon, and they're going to spend it on the roof, because Addie has never eaten on a roof. They're going to sit in the sun and eat their picnic and drink their wine and look down on the ocean. When the time comes, he will kiss her. She likes being kissed, gives him her mouth full and open like a flower, one he remembers from home but can't remember the name of, something with soft, damp petals. She is swishing around him like a nervous cat, singing that song, Up on the Roof, by James Taylor or Joni Mitchell or Carole King, one of the people she listens to. He should learn the song so that next time, if there is a next time, he can play it for her the way it ought to sound, jazzy and light, the way you feel when you're on a roof. He packs the food in his gym bag, the peaches and eggs and smoothies and fries and wine and barbecue. He strips the orange blanket off the sofa bed. Then they climb out the window and up the metal ladder, past the 4th floor. Only one flight, but in the wind carrying their picnic it feels like more. An outing, his mother would call it. Addie goes first, clinging to the rail. A warm breeze is blowing. Her cotton skirt balloons above him. He can see her legs all the way up to her lace panties. Her legs are like stalks, thin and straight and pale. No one in L.A. has legs so pale. Roland, she says, her red hair whipping around her head, if I let go, will you catch me? Sure, baby. He isn't in love with her. Nobody's talking about love. But if she fell, yes, he would catch her because she believes he could. She has known him forever and trusts him anyway. And for that, he would give her everything. His groceries, his Coke if he had any, his roof, his big, warm California sky, his ocean. The picnic does not turn out as he's planned. Addie sits stiff as a queen on the orange blanket, nibbling at her sandwich, now and then flapping her hand in the air to shoo a swooping gull. If she'd just finished eating, the bird would leave her alone. He doesn't know why she's taking such tiny bites, why she chews and chews and chews, unless it's to avoid talking. She's too quiet, not her usual chatterbox self. He tries pouring wine into her cup, and she stops him. "What are those mountains?" she asks. "The Santa Monicas. They look like elephants." "Elephants?" "It's a Hemingway story," she says. She sounds impatient, irritated with him. "Hills like white elephants, except those hills aren't white. They're sort of brownish gray, taupe." "I read a book," he says. I saw a show on public TV about John Steinbeck, and the next day I went out and got Of Mice and Men. Fucking blew me away. I love that guy, Lenny." What he doesn't say, what he's afraid to say, is that he watched the show and read the book for her. "The one you ought to read," she says, "is The Grapes of Wrath, the greatest road book ever written." "Isn't it like 10,000 pages long?" She squints at the horizon. "Those hills don't really look like elephants." He opens the peaches and they eat them out of the can. "Last one's yours," he offers, but she pushes the spoon away. The Hemingway story, she says, is about a girl who gets pregnant. She and her boyfriend are trying to decide what she should do. What do they decide? He's being polite. Why the hell is she still talking about this story? "Nothing, Roland," she says, "nothing. I'm pregnant." "Oh," he says. "Oh, fuck. Of course, a girl gets pregnant. That explains everything. Her nervousness, her moodiness, her not drinking. He can't believe he didn't figure it out himself. Even her coming back so soon. Of course she would think she had to tell him in person. That's Addie. Dutiful, pale, pregnant Addie. He imagines her packing for her trip, choosing what to wear, picking out the story she would use. If only he were a reader. She's starting to cry now, but not hard. He puts his arm around her. "It's okay, baby," he says. "Don't worry, it'll be okay. Addie, look at me." He hands her one of the paper towels they're using as napkins. "That story," he says, "how does it come out?" It's Hemingway. It doesn't come out. He pulls her closer and presses her head into his shoulder. Her face soaks his shirt. He doesn't care. He isn't thinking about himself. Not yet. It's too soon. He doesn't need to think that far ahead. "It's okay," he says, keeping his voice deep and even. "Just tell me what you want me to do. Tell me and I'll do it." He has no idea what this means, for himself or for her, but he likes the sound of it. Solid, convincing, strong, stronger than he has ever been.